Hey, how you doing? Welcome to my top 40 of 1977. These videos are a journey through my awesome collection of Spotify playlists. Over there you can hear my top 40s from 1970 to 1991, annuals from 1925 to the present day, artist specials, genre specials, themed shows, anything you can possibly imagine. I've got hundreds of playlists over there just waiting for you to open up and enjoy. Now, I've done the top 40s from 1970 to 1976, and this is 1977, and you'll notice some brand new artists because the punk revolution had started, so there's some great new artists in this playlist, and it's very different to what had gone previously. So let's get straight into it. By the way, the link to this playlist is in the description, and the link to the radio show of this playlist is in the description. More on that later. Number 40. Tom Robinson Band, 2468 Motorway, spent 2 weeks at 5 in November of 77. 39, Wings, Maybe I'm Amazed, spent 2 weeks at 28 in March of 77. Is it Wings or Paul McCartney? By the way, the screen you're looking at, I'm not looking at that screen, so if it says Paul McCartney or Wings, then that whatever one it says is the one it is. 38, The Modern Lovers, Roadrunner, spent a week at 11 in August of 77. 37, The Brothers Johnson, Strawberry Letter, 23, spent a week at 35 in July of 77. 36, Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, spent a week at 21 in May of 77. 35, The Jam, make their first entry. All Around the World, spent a week at 13 in August of 77. 34, ELO, Telephone Line, spent 2 weeks at 8, straddling June and July of 77. 33, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus, spent a week at 14, straddling July and August of 77. And at 32, Ram Jam, Black Betty, spent a week at 7, straddling October and November of 77. I said October, a bit weird. 31, Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, spent a week at 2 in June of 77. Into the top 30. Number 30, Jean-Michel Jarre, Oxygene Part 4, spent 4 weeks at 4, straddling September and October of 77. 29, Queen, We Are the Champions, spent 3 weeks at 2, straddling November and December of 77. 28, first entry from the Boomtown Rats, Looking After Number 1, spent a week at 11 in September of 77. I'm not sure if they have another entry in this top 40, actually. No. Okay, so the first and only entry from the Boomtown Rats. Number 27, Eddie and the Hot Rods, what did I write? Do Anything You Want to Do. I wrote something which doesn't say do anything you want to do, so I don't know. Spent a week at 9 in September of 77. 26, Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop, from the awesome album Rumours. Spent a week at 32 in May of 77. 25, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, American Girl. Spent a week at 40, straddling August and September of 77. Apparently the Strokes used that as inspiration for Last Night. Was it Last Night? No. One of their songs from the first album. 24, Baccarat, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, spent a week at number 1, straddling October and November of 77. 23, Eagles, Hotel California, spent a week at 8 in May of 77. 22, The Jam Are Back, In the City, spent a week at 40 in June of 77. Number 21, The Tramps, Disco Inferno, spent a week at 16 in June of 77. Of course, 77 was the first year of full-fledged disco. So, but when we get to 79, you'll see that 79 was the premium year of disco, even though disco was already on the way out then. In the top 20 now. Oh my goodness, that's better. 20, Thin Lizzy, Dancing in the Moonlight, spent a week at 14 in September of 77. 19, Fleetwood Mac are back with Dreams, spent a week at 24 in August of 77. 18, Stevie Wonder, Another Star, from Songs in the Key of Life. See, I remembered this time. Spent 2 weeks at 29 in September of 77. 17, 10cc, Good Morning Judge, spent a week at 5, straddling May and June of 77. 16, Queen, Tie Your Mother Down, spent a week at 31 in April of 77. 15, Rolls Royce, Car Wash, spent a week at 9 in February of 77. And at 14, Fleetwood Mac again from the album Rumours, Go Your Own Way, spent a week at 38 in March of 77. For an album that did so well, the singles didn't do that well. 13, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Jammin', spent a week at 9 in February of 78, but it did enter the UK Top 40 in 77, don't you worry. 12, Stevie Wonder again from the album Songs in the Key of Life, Sir Duke, spent a week at 2 in May of 77. That's about Duke Ellington. my favorite composer of the 20th century. 11, Heatwave, Boogie Nights, spent a week at 2 in March of 77. And into the top 10. Way. Heroes by David Bowie, spent a week at 24 in November of 77. 9, The Stranglers, No More Heroes. I have really mixed feelings about The Stranglers. Spent a week at 8 in October of 77. 8, Brian Ferry, Tokyo Joe, spent a week at 15 in June of 77. And at 7, Candy Staten, Nights on Broadway, spent a week at 6 in September of 77. Number 6, Denise Williams and Free, spent 2 weeks at 1, and quite rightly so, in May of 77. 5, Sex Pistols, Pretty Vacant, spent a week at 6, straddling July and August of 77. I do believe... Oh no, hang on a second. Oh yeah, God Save the Queen was way further down. Number 4, The Stranglers, again with Peaches. I love that song. Spent a week at 8 in July of 77. 3, David Bowie, Sound and Vision. Spent a week at 3, straddling March and April of 77. Number 2, Donna Summer, I Feel Love. Such an important song. Spent 4 weeks at number 1, straddling July and August of 77. Yes, it did. And at number 1, I absolutely adore this song. Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Watching the Detectives. Spent 2 weeks at 15, straddling December of 77 and January of 78. I told you it was a very different list to the previous ones. So, that's my top 40 of 1977. Now let's look at the extras. But before we do, let's talk about guilty pleasures. There are 20 guilty pleasures tagged on at the end of my top 40 playlist on Spotify. So when you click on that top 40 playlist, you'll see 60 songs, the top 40, and then 20 guilty pleasures. So you can see them on the screen right now. Aren't they lovely? Guilty pleasures is a very subjective thing. Some people might feel guilty about liking them. Some people won't feel guilty. I don't think I feel guilty about liking them, but it's the kind of things that you wouldn't brag about to your mates in school. You know, say, oh, I love that song by Carpenters, or I love that, whatever it may be. All right. Now, the caveat for the top 40 was the songs had to enter the UK top 40 in 1977. Now, let's look at extras. The caveat for extras is that they didn't enter the UK top 40. So they either entered outside the top 40 and didn't get any higher, or they didn't enter the charts at all. Maybe they're album tracks, maybe songs from other territories. So let's have a look right now. Disco Devil by Lee Scratch Perry. Now, in yesterday's show, 1976, we had Disco Devil, but it was the Max Romeo version. This is the Lee Scratch Perry version. Same song, but sounds very different, although the melody is the same, but it's fantastic. Up next, Talking Heads, Psycho Killer, didn't enter the UK top 40. Orlandivo, Onde Anda o Meu Amor. Junior Murvin, Police and Thieves. I've mentioned it before. I love reggae music from the 70s. I love Brazilian music from the 70s because it was all pretty rubbish in the 80s, so we make the most of the 70s and 60s. Silvio Cesar, A Festa. Trinity, Three-Piece Suit. That's actually an original version of that song Uptown Top Rankin' by Althea and Donna, which appears in 1978. Doris Montero, Maita. Elvis Costello, I'm Not Angry. From the same album as Watching the Detectives. Brown Sugar, Hello Stranger. That's a reggae version of that lovely soul song by, is it Barbara Mason? I can't remember. Trio Makoto, Now Adianta. The Congos, Fisherman. Parliament, Bob Gunn, Endangered Species. Chico Buarque and Nara Leao, João e Maria. Pink Floyd, Pigs, 3 different ones from the awesome album Animals. Leroy Smart, Pride and Ambition. Caetano Veloso, Tigresa. Green Flow, That's That Way I Feel. Strange title. I thought it would be That's the Way I Feel. That album from Green Flow is a retrospective reissue from 1977. It's all very lo-fi, but it's a lovely soul album. Orlandivo, Tamanco no Samba. The Heptones, Crying Over You. That's a version of another song called Crying Over You from the U-Roy album, Version Galore from 1971. Orlandivo again, Abraço no Bengil. Junior Murvin, Roots Train, Caetano Veloso, O Leozinho. The Diddies and Paige Douglas, Intergalactic Love Song, The Diddies. I'm not sure if it's all throughout the UK, but in Scotland, if you're a Diddy, you're an idiot. So I'm not sure if anyone else has that. Trio Makoto, Now Adianta. Sugar Minot, is it pronounced Sugar Minot? Jaja Children. Orlandivo, Gise Me Gise. Obviously, I love that album. Innovations, Seabird, Anna Mazzotti, Agora Nunca Mais, Green Flow Again, Every Single Time I Dream, Gilberto Gil, Ella, Parliament, Flashlight. I love that song so much. Eliana Pittman, Quem Vai Querer, What in the World by David Bowie, João Gilberto, Chin Chin por Chin Chin, Sugar Minot again, Oh Mr. DC, Mucha and Antonio Carlos Jobim, Samba do Avião, Bernard Fevre and Black Devil Disco Club, Moonheart, João Gilberto, Zingaro, Bob Marley and the Wailers, Natural Mystic, Miguel de Deus, Cinco Años, Parliament, Cernos de Voidafunk. I was going to call my song that. Oh. Bob Marley and the Wailers, One Love, People Get Ready medley. João Gilberto, Wave, The Congos, Congo Man. Parliament, Placebo Syndrome. Junior Mervyn, Tedious. Elvis Costello, No Dancing. The Congos, Sodom and Gomorrah. Musa Dumbia, Kelea. Junior Mervyn again, False Teaching. It's a great album, by the way, that Junior Mervyn album. David Bowie, Breaking Glass. The Congos, Ark of Covenant. Lee Scratch Perry blames the Congos on the burning down of his Ark of the Covenant studio. There's a documentary about Lee Scratch Perry, and he says that the Congos brought in a negative, nasty atmosphere, and he felt the only way to remove it was to burn it down. He doesn't say he burned it down, but I think he has admitted it, and it is known that it burnt down, surprisingly. Anyway, you didn't ask, but I told you anyway. João Gilberto, Triste. Freedom Machine, Stop Doubting My Love. Junior Mervyn, Working in the Cornfield. Ian Jury, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. I can't believe that didn't chart. I'm going to have to check that out, because I would have assumed that charted. But it can't have. It wouldn't be in this chart. It wouldn't be in this list if it had. Willie Williams, Armageddon Time, the disco mix vocal. Gene Lawrence, After Sunrise. Synthesis, City Life. Space Art, Onyx. Synthesis, City Song. Space Art, Paris Vision. Bob James, Nightcrawler. I have a tendency to put instrumentals of a certain nature in near the bottom. It's not that I don't like them as much. It's just that I don't know why I do it, but you can see those songs. I think most of them are instrumentals. Space Art again, Symphonics. Johnny Teopen Group, Tropical Scene, Space Art Speedway, Kraftwerk, Abzug, and Bernard Fevre and the Black Devil Disco Club, Cimes Eternelis. There you go, that's my 1977 extras. You can go and listen to that playlist. I would certainly recommend that you do. The playlist for the top 40 is on Spotify, link in the description. The playlist for this is on Spotify, link in the description. The radio show of the top 40 is on Mixcloud. There's a link in the description. And so follow me in all of those places to keep up with all I'm doing. And there's regular playlists, regular radio shows. And subscribe here, hit like, share it with music lovers, and let me know in the comments what music you loved from 1977, and give me some suggestions for my extras playlist. The only thing is, if it's for extras, the songs can't have entered the UK Top 40. Anywho, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Until next time when we do 1978, bye!